weekly. So I have a whole bunch of things that we're going to do today, and I will jump over into voiceover mode in just a moment, but I just wanted to walk you through before I get started. Sometimes I get started on this and I just turn the camera on and then I'm like, I go back to voiceover and I'm like, what was I doing? So we are in February. January is all wrapped up. I am happy to say the last thing that I needed to do was add a photo to this flip out, and I did that. So I have my photo. I had been saving this piece of chipboard right there to add, and it is all complete. The journaling is all complete. The calendar is complete. Everything is good. I always leave my, oh, I'm so sorry about this glare. So I always leave my tabs here to do at the very end of the album. So in June, I will go back and I will stamp all of my Avery index tabs. I have found that that is just the quickest way to get the most variety on my tabs. It's the easiest. So you can look forward to that in a few months, me doing that. But January is all finished, so I'm really excited about that. That feels really good. On Friday, you're going to be seeing a quick video, it's pretty short, of my life lately cards that I create. If you're in my membership on any level here on YouTube or over on my website, then you get access to these. I try to do about one a week, at least, 2 to 3 a month. And this is one that I created in January. And then we get into February, and all of my photos are in for February. So the structure of February works. If you're brand new to my Project Life videos, the way that I do Project Life is monthly. I have 2 design A's that go for each month. So here's the front of February and it's a design A. And then here's the back of February and it's a design A page protector. I get my page protectors from Becky Higgins. That is where I choose to get them. I like all of my page protectors to match. I don't like to have a bunch of different companies where things don't match. So the 2 places that I get my page protectors from are Becky Higgins and then Ali Edwards. So I like to get a lot of my 9x12 from Ali Edwards, and hers match pretty well. But with Ali Edward page protectors, you do have to punch an additional hole. They're meant for her albums, and her albums are, I believe, 4. So it's like 2 rings here and 2 rings here. And so there's no middle ring. So if you get Ali Edward page protectors, just know that you're going to have to punch this middle hole for this style album. The other question that I always get is, where do I get my albums? I just got a question recently, where do I get Violet's lime green albums? I get all of my albums from scrapbook.com. They used to be the We Are Memory Keeper brand, but now they're just the scrapbook.com brand, and that's what I get. Okay, so design A, and then anything extra for the month that I want to document goes right in the middle, and this is where my love for Project Life lies, in the different size things that you can put in to your album. And I love the way everything layers. In January, I love the way all of this layers. You can have interactive pieces. I did something outside the page protector. All of this stuff layers, and it makes it so fun flipping through. And even when everything's layered up, it just looks so fun. So everything that I want to document is in the middle, so extra things. So I have, this is something that I got in the mail from Illustrated Faith. I wanted to put that in there. And then I made it a pocket for the Valentine's pieces. Violet made me this Valentine on Valentine's Day, and I put that in there. The one that Kayla made me, I stuck back here in this pocket that I added to the very back of my album because it's really, really thick. It's folded up construction paper. And then the next thing that I have in here for February is I have a Super Bowl layout. I did this layout in the Project Life app. So these are just some memes and and different things about the Super Bowl graphic for this year. And I just added a few of these. I screenshot them on my phone and then added them to a page in the app. That works the best in this case. You could print them and cut them out and put them in pockets, but it was also the easiest way to create it and be done. Like once the Super Bowl was over, I was done with this layout because I did it all that day. On the back side here, I have this layout here. This product is from Pixel to Pages. I'm actually on their design team, and I do have a post coming up this month all about their product, all about what I'm doing, how I'm using it. This is a combination of using the Project Life app. So this main page with the photos is from the Project Life app. That's where I put it together. Even these cards here, which are not in the Project Life app, these are actually cards from Pixel to Pages. I did all of that in the app, and I will have a video walking you through how I do that. And then this background piece and these extra pieces here, here, and here, and then all of the text on the photos there are done on the computer in PicMonkey, which is a free application online. It's where I edit all of my photos if I'm not doing it directly on my phone or through the Project Life app or through the app that I use on my phone to edit. If I'm doing any other kind of editing, I do it on the computer through PicMonkey. You can get that for free. For years, I used the free version. I do use the professional version now because I use it for work. But so this is a combination of both of those programs, and then the Pixel to Pages product, which is beautiful and amazing. I love it. I just have not had time in the last couple months to do actually a dedicated video for it, but that's coming up in March. So, you know, towards the end of the month here. So this is just a page that I had created in February for some of the February product, and I had done this one, and then I had also done this one, and I had thought originally that I would put them in my album like this. I actually didn't end up having another space. It worked out great that I had the Super Bowl layout and then this. So this one is going to go in the girls' album. So I'll just get a second one printed, and then one will go in Kayla's album and one will go in Violet's album. So I have that, and that works great. For the month of February, I am using the Jade Core Kit. So my goal this year is to use old core kits in my Project Life album. So past pocketed cards that Becky Higgins came out with years ago, or some of them are not core kits, some of them are mini kits. I have a ton of them. A few years back, I hit the jackpot at Tuesday morning, and they were all clearance, and they were like $5 a piece, and so I got a ton of them, and I just have a lot in my collection, and so I want to use them. So I'm using the Jade collection. I also have some Jade 12 by 12 pattern paper from back in the day when Becky Higgins used to do pattern paper. So I have that here. I've cut 2 more cards that are going to go here for journaling. We're going to pop in my journaling because I have that printed, and we'll talk about journaling. But I have these 2 cards for the back here, and I'll talk about how I'm doing journaling in just a moment. I'm going to do my February calendar, so I have pulled some stamp sets to use. These are all Ali Edwards sets. I have this one, which is just a like photo one. It's just a story set. And then I have the Strong themed stamp set, Seasons. And then this one is just another like one of hers. Oh, I think this was actually Tough. Yeah, Tough. This was the story stamp Tough. So if you are a fan of Ali Edwards, pretty sure that it's still happening, but she is doing a kit sale, and there are tons of her kits on sale for $10 a piece, which are amazing. Some stories by the month, some of the themed ones. I actually picked up a couple. I think I picked up 8 of the kits on my last order for Ali Edwards because they were actually available for add-on, so you could add them on to your subscription for the month, and they were such amazing deals. I mean, some of her kits, I know the rainbow kit was $40 when it was released, and I picked it up for $10. So you might want to check AllieEdwards.com for that. So I pulled stamps, and we're going to do the calendar today. We're going to wrap up February, so this could be a pretty long video. So we'll do the calendar and wrap that up. I do have all of my photos in here, so that's totally fine. I have my stamps. The inks that I'm going to be using today are Concord and Ninth. They are these colors right here. These are the colors I pulled. No particular reason. It's just the colors that I feel like best match my cards that I'm using today. So those are the cards that are the stamp colors I'm using, and then of course I'll use my black VersaFine. So again, all my photos are already in here. My tabs are on, and there wasn't a lot to document for the month of February. February was a really hard month for us. Did I not put it? Oh, I have photos. I have one more insert that I really would like to do, and that insert is of the work in our house that took place. We had to have all of the pipes in our house replaced and the hot water heater replaced. This is a photo of the water coming out of the faucet. I should snap another photo of how fast the water comes out of the faucet now. But I do have this, so I will need to find another page protector and put that in here. But I have the photos printed. So that is in there, and then the cards. So let's dive in. I'm going to shift into voiceover mode, and we're going to get, I wonder if maybe I might reprint these. I might just maybe try to put it on this 8.5 by 11. Because I don't have actually anything to go here. I don't have any extra things that need to go here. So these might just work. Maybe I could just, okay, I'll think through that while I'm doing the other things. I'm gonna leave those out so that I know. So let's dive into the first thing and get the journaling in, get this situated and get the calendar done, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, let's get started with the actual things I'm going to do. This is going to be a fairly long video. This whole process, it took me about an hour and a half. Now, I haven't worked on Project Life much in the last few weeks. I've had other things happening, and I haven't been able to get to it. So I did have quite a few things to do, and I was filming, which means I was stopping, and there's just certain things that go into filming that take up a little bit of time. But overall, I share that because I just want you to know it's not hard to keep up with it, and it doesn't take that much time. I feel like when you're more engaged with it, the farther you get behind, the more time it's going to take to get, back on top of it. But really, when you're doing Project Life, it really can be, I should say, a very quick process, and not hard to get caught up on. Now, I also love the way that I'm doing this journaling. So currently this year, what I'm doing is I have a document on my computer open that's on my desktop, and I'm doing all of my journaling. So at the beginning of the month, I set up each week. So, this is the 4 weeks of February. I date them with the dates, and then I also do the week number. So like week 6, week 8, week 10, week 12, whatever it is. And then I just add journaling throughout the week. And then last month, I just printed out that 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I put it in a 6 by 12 page protector. And that was my journaling for the whole month. This month, I'm actually cutting it apart, and I'm putting it on these Project Life cards. This is the Jade kit. and I'm just adding it to the cards. Now you're going to notice on one of the cards, the because I printed the journaling on white cardstock, like white paper, I get this paper here that I use for my journaling is 64 pound. I get it from Staples, but you can get it from anywhere. It's 64 pound. It's thicker than printer paper, but thinner than basic white cardstock from Stampin' Up, which is 80 pound. You're going to see on the second journaling card, the journaling does interfere with the design of the card. The card says every day down the side right there, and you're going to see that my journaling goes over the everyday part. Now, if I had been using sticker paper, it would have been different. Or if I was willing to alter, I could have altered that journaling, and instead of making it so long, I could have made it a little bit taller so then it would have fit on that card. So there are moments that I am going to choose to do what's easy over what is perfect. I had already printed this journaling out, and I didn't want to go back and reprint it and then try to trim it down and make it fit perfect. So I just went with it, and at the end of the day, I'm not sad about it. It doesn't bother me. So there are just things when you're doing a project like this, when you're doing Project Life, or you're doing memory keeping in a way where you're trying to do it and keep up with it, there's going to be things that you're going to have to be okay with. Every time you say yes to something, you say no to something else. So by saying yes to just doing the journaling the way I'm doing it, printing it out and sitting down, I'm probably saying no to it being perfect on these cards. But I'm not interested in perfection in this album. I'm interested in staying caught up with it and staying done. So the other things that I brought out this month is all of my circle pieces from Ali Edwards. This is circle, it's vellum, it's chipboard, it's fabric, it's all the circle embellishments from Ali Edwards. And then I'm also using these ampersands, stickers, and chipboard. This was from a kit a couple years ago, and I have several pieces of chipboard and different stickers, puffy stickers. I'm going to use those throughout this entire month of February, and that's going to be amazing. That's going to help tie my month together by using all the same colors and then using one symbol like that. It's going to tie everything together for the month. I also have a basket of die cuts. This just happens to be one of the shapes I picked. I'm going to lay that down in an ink pad. I'm going to color the top of it basically. So I'm just using that ink pad to get the color. I'm going to set that aside to dry because this is a relatively new ink pad and it's pretty juicy, you can see. So I am going to set that aside to dry. I will also do that with an orange ink pad a little bit later, but then I will be able to put a little bit of journaling on that card right there. That is a screenshot from my daughter's Instagram account. Every now and again, when I see that she's posted something cute, I will just screenshot it. A lot of times it's for her album, but in this case, I put it in our album. And then we're going to jump into the calendar. So I've already done a little bit of the calendar with the designer paper or the pattern paper in the corners. It's one of my favorite ways to do pattern paper on my calendar is to add it to the corners. My camera will stop shaking in 1 minute. I think I was plugging in the battery pack. And then I did a few strips of paper at the bottom. That's just, again, to tie everything into it. And my calendar is probably the thing that I get the most questions about. What do I put on the calendar? Why do I use a calendar? That kind of thing. So the simple answer is it's something that I've always done. Since I started memory keeping, I always did this calendar type thing where I would add different things we were doing. So in the beginning, I really used it when my kids were little because their milestones, it was so fun to see their milestones on the calendar, like when they started walking or when they rolled over. And it still is fun to see when you look back at our older Project Life albums when they were babies. It is really cool to see that. Now I do it a little bit differently. First of all, I never in the past decorated my calendars. It never occurred to me. I started decorating my calendars last year. I thought I have all these stamps and all this product. Why am I not
decorating my calendars. The other thing is, this is an 8.5 by 11 calendar. I just get it from searching for free calendars online. I get that question a lot as well. I literally just type into Google 2024 calendar and I look for one. Sometimes I buy them off Etsy if I find one that I really can't live without, and they're usually a couple dollars, but you can literally find hundreds of them for free. You don't have to purchase one. So it also works as a space to hold extra items on the back. So on the back of the 8.5 by 11, I can do a layout, which I will probably do for February with all of our pipe problems we had and being without hot water and all of that. I will probably do that on the back. But also it serves as a place to put tickets or brochures or different things that I want to keep, but there's no place to put them. I put them right in behind that calendar. So what I'm doing on the calendar part, now that that's what I use the calendar part for. And now how I decorate the calendar is by using my stamps and paper. Now, I don't put as many details on this calendar as what's really happening with our life. I don't put, my husband's work schedule or the kids' school schedule or that kind of thing. I'm not necessarily putting a detailed account on the calendar of everything we're doing, my husband's work schedule or whatever. I'm really just making notes on the calendar of different things that we've done that probably I'm not documenting. Like if I have a dentist appointment, I'm probably not taking photos at the dentist to put in my Project Life album. But you look at the calendar and you kind of see, oh, like we had dentist appointments, or, spring break was happening, or in this case, the washi tape is going to indicate when we had all of the problems with the pipes in our house. So in February, we had a pipe burst under our house, and then because of that we had to have all of the pipes in our entire house replaced, and we were without hot water for all that time. Where you see the washi tape, we did not have any hot water at all, and then there was a period of time where we didn't have any water period at all as things were being replaced. So the stamps that I picked out this month were the tough stamp set. And then there was another one, seasons, that's another one. And then what I did is I used all of those stamps to just add character to my calendar, basically. It is literally just another creative outlet for adding information to our Project Life album. And when we look back at this, when we're flipping through our album, which I feel like it's really important for you to flip through your album. I set an album out in our living room, and then I also set out all of my week in the life albums go out in the summertime. My December daily albums go out in the wintertime, to look back. And when we look back and I see this calendar, I'm going to remember that it was really tough. February was really tough. There was a lot of really hard things that were happening and really stressful decisions that were being made. And it was a good chunk of our February. So that is what I put on the front of the calendar, and then I decorate it. I add the stickers, I add the stamping. I've really liked adding stamping to the calendar and adding stickers to it. I feel like I'm able to use my product, and that's the entire point of having all of this stuff, is to use it. And I'm trying to get better about using the things that I have, because I'm really bad about holding on. Like these ampersand, these items that I've had, the stickers, the chipboard, the puffy stickers, I've had for many years, and I'm always waiting for the perfect thing to use them on. And I'm trying to get better about using my stuff. All these stamp sets that I love getting them out and using them on the calendar is amazing. It is wonderful to use them and to use these things that I love, and then to be going through the product. I love when I finish products. Like when I finish a sheet of stickers, it's amazing. I also really loved the way that the ink pads that I used, so these were from Concord and Ninth. I used Clementine and the other orange one, I forget what it's called. and then Tide Pool and Aqua, and they matched this kit perfectly, which was really nice. So I'm going to do a cluster of the different types of ampersands up here in the corner. Like I said, some of them are chipboard. This one that I'm using right now is chipboard. The other one that I just put on the top is a puffy sticker. I love having that interact with the edge of the page, and I will just trim that off when I'm ready to have that there. But this really worked. Also, the Jade kit has some cards that have ampersands on them. I'm probably saying that wrong. But they have some of that same design. So that was really nice. This really, I felt like, tied the kit and the cards and then all of February together. So then once I have it decorated, that's the other thing is that I decorate first. So you will notice like I stamped Seasons of Life on the 1st and the 2nd. Now, if I had something like, say I had a dentist appointment on the 1st, I just wouldn't write the dentist appointment because I'm not going to be able to write that in there nicely. And I don't care, right? The calendar accuracy is not the point of the calendar being in there. It literally is an aspect of being able to be creative. And then the most important part is the part on the back where I have that extra space for either a layout or to add a few things that I would like to keep, right? So again, if there's something that happens on the 1st and I can't write it in there because I've already done the stamping or I've already added paper or a sticker, then I just skip adding that. And that's what I do. Above the washi tape here in a moment, when I start writing in the details of all the things that happened, you will see that I just really abbreviating what happened, like bullet points, and adding a few things above the washi tape so that it is an indication of what that washi tape means, and so that I can remember in 10 years looking back on this, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was, those were all of the days that we didn't have water or we didn't have hot water. I'm also, when I stamp, I am using a scratch piece of paper and I'm stamping off the paper first so I can make sure that it's going to get a really good crisp image. You also saw me use a sand eraser, and I also rubbed the stamp on my hand, and that was to just season the stamp. A lot of times when you get these clear stamps, these photopolymer type stamps, there is a clear residue on them when they're new, and that can cause the ink to pull up on the actual stamp, and then when you stamp it down, it will look splotchy. And if that is happening, you just need to season the stamp so that the ink will settle into the stamp, will soak into your stamp, and it will then give you a crisp image. Also, these kinds of stamps stain. So you're going to see that the stamps are stained, particularly if you use like a red or an orange or a pink ink, they're going to stain. Now, it does not harm your stamp. In fact, it's better for your stamp. If you can, think of it like a cast iron skillet, the more you cook in there, the more it gets seasoned, and the better use of it is when it's been seasoned, right? When you've cooked in it over and over and over again, and you have that beautiful seasoned pan. That's exactly how it is with stamps. The more you use them, the more ink that gets on them, the more seasoned they get, and the better they are. You don't want your stamps to be perfectly clear and crisp. That's not the point of them. So I know it can bother some people, but I really invite you to let go of that. And when you see your stamps stained, let it bring back memories of all the creating that you have been able to do. So that is my tip for you with the stained stamping. And I rarely clean my stamps properly. You can get like the Stampin' Scrub. I like that, where you wet one side, you rub your stamp in it, it cleans it, and then on the other side, you rub it into the, the felt, and then it will dry it. That's an option to clean them. You can also use things like baby wipes. I personally do not like the stamp like chamois that are out there because I don't like the sound or the feel of that type of fabric going over it. Like gives me like the chills just thinking about it, going over the stamp. So I don't use those stamp chamois. But honestly, I just kind of stamp off on a piece of paper a couple times and I put my stamps back, or I use a baby wipe. I'm never really worried about it. If I use a really dark ink, then you're going to want to clean it off. You don't want to, probably contaminate your inks. But I'm a very messy stamper. I don't want to take the time to clean things. I'm lucky if I take the time to put things back properly. So when it comes to stamping, I just dive in, I stamp, I'm messy, my inks get mixed, my stamps don't always get cleaned properly, putting them back, but I'm here to just create and have fun, and that's just part of it. So you can see with the black pen, I just wrote in some of the details of our life. I also, with the stamping, you saw that I stamped off the orange ink. I would dip it in my ink pad. I would stamp it on a scratch piece of paper, and then I would stamp it on my calendar, and that gave it a lighter look. And so you can stretch your inks by doing that, by getting different colors. By stamping multiple times. So I popped the calendar back in there, and you can see I love the way it came out. I think it is beautiful. The Pixel to Pages page with the Valentine's Day stuff, it sort of throws this layout off, this month off, because the layout itself is done in very bright pink and red, and then obviously my month of February is in these aqua oranges, and it's a lot lighter, so it does throw it off a little bit. If you look back at my January layout, you will see that it's much more cohesive. But again, I want the layout, that particular layout I want in my album. So I'm going to say yes to having it in there, and I'm going to say no to the month being perfect, and that's okay. So with these circle embellishments here, you are going to see that it takes me some time. So now I have all my journaling and I have all my photos, right? So the most important thing is to get photos in your album. If you have nothing else, the photos are the most important thing. So then for me, the next important thing is journaling. And again, I'm loving the way I'm doing my journaling this year. I'm not having to worry about figuring out how to get journaling on pocket cards or in other places. I can literally just print it out, slip it into a 6x12, and the journaling for the month is done. So I feel like that is a good solution for the struggle I have with journaling, right? But the second thing is like the journaling is the next important piece. And then for me, after I put the photos in, after I have the journaling done and in, the next thing I do, which is like the icing on the cake, is doing these embellishments. Now, by picking one type of embellishment, or two types of embellishment in my case for this month, for this monthly layout, it's going to help me to not have decision fatigue where I'm having to make a bunch of decisions. I just know I'm going to do all circles. I'm going to add the ampersands in throughout the month. This way, I'm not digging through everything that I have. I just pulled out my circle containers and I'm looking through my circles. I'm going to do this large circle here in the middle of the sky. And then I'm going to do 3 other circles sort of in this triangle type space, where I'm going to do one on this empty space above Esau and Kayla. I'm going to cut off the top of that circle so it interacts with the edge of the circle. It's crooked. When I put it on there, I realized it was crooked, but I already stuck it to the photo, so it's just going to be crooked, and we're going to go with it. Again, we're not going to worry about the perfection of it being perfectly straight. I'm going to cut the chipboard off so that interacts with the top of the photo. And then on this third photo here where it says routine, this is a photo that I did with my timer of my husband and I. We were folding laundry. And I want to talk about this photo specifically because you can see my arm is in that photo, and I really dislike my arms. I carry a lot of weight in my upper arms, and I hate my arms. It's really hard to find shirts that fit. I mean, right, maybe too much information, but I don't have big boobs. So it's like if a shirt fits my arms, then it doesn't fit my boobs. If it fits my boobs, it doesn't fit my arms. When I snapped the photo, I was really disappointed that my arm was in the photo. But then what I realized I could do is just put an embellishment. So that's what I did. I'm changing my TV right here. We're pausing for a little TV moment. But I took that photo, I used it, and then I took a half circle and I put it over my arm, and it disguised my arm. Now, in the grand scheme of things, probably my family's not going to look back at the album and be like, oh, she shouldn't have used that photo. Her arm is so fat. Probably nobody's going to say that, right? That's probably just what is in my head. But I think it's really important for us to address these issues, because I know so many times we don't want to be in the photo. We think our hair is not right. We're too thin. We're too heavy. We're not tall enough. We're too short. We're whatever. I hear that so much. I don't like being in photos because I have family members. My grandmother was one of them who refused to be in photos ever. I would take photos of her all the time and she would get angry. And I don't care. I look back now at the photos I have of my grandmother, and I'm forever thankful that I took the photo. And even if she caught me taking it and was angry at me, I'm forever thankful that I have that photo. So I think it's really important for us to just acknowledge that sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it is really hard to show up in a photo when you struggle. Over the last few years, I've struggled with my weight so much. I have some medical issues that just refuse to let me lose weight no matter what I do. And outwardly, I've had people say, you should try harder, who've been really mean to me. And they don't know the battle that I'm going through, right? And so to show up on a photo with whatever it is can be so difficult. And I want us to acknowledge that, because first of all, there's always a way around it. You saw I just put a sticker right over the photo, and I hid my big arm that I don't like. And I still captured the photo, right? But also, the only way to get more comfortable with it, the only way to get over it, the only way to see the value in taking the photos and putting them in the albums is to take the photos and put them in the albums. So I know that it can be really hard, and I want to acknowledge that and say I struggle with it as well. And let's find solutions to make it not so hard, and let's practice doing it so it gets easier. Okay, so that's my soapbox moment for this video. If you're still here, thank you so much for still being here, for listening, for showing up, and just being part of this community. I appreciate it so much. So I also have a little bin. You just saw, I had this a lot when I was making cards. I had a basket that has a bunch of die cuts in it from different shapes. They're really basic shapes is what they are. And I still pull those for memory keeping. I used this on the photo of Kayla and her friend Lily. So I'm going to use 2 more on this insert. On the other side of this insert are photos of Violet with, we've had some beautiful rainbows the last few months. And Violet loves rainbows. She spots them. She'll come in the house, or she'll come out of her room screaming that there's a rainbow, and we all go outside to look at the rainbow with her because she loves it. So I have some photos like that, and I have in past projects, I have photos like that of her. It's a common photo to get, and I don't mind that it's a common photo. I like looking back and we see her grow. We see when she was, smaller. We see that this is still a love that she has. I put a puffy sticker on the rainbow right there in the middle. I didn't really do any journaling about that. The journaling's in the journaling that I did throughout the month. And then on this side of the layout is I put my Christmas stuff away in February. And then I also, the bottom and the top photo, I took out all of my home decor. I decorate my house by season. So I took out all of my home decor for all of the different seasons. I bought new containers for them, and then I organized them appropriately. This is something I've been wanting to do for 10 years, and I finally did it. Bought all of the same kind of containers and then organized them appropriately. And really, I did that at the very beginning of February, thinking February was going to be amazing and we were going to get so many home things done and we were going to be so productive. And then chaos erupted and we had no water for most of the month. So I'm just going through my circle pieces. I really need to go through these and probably just look through them so that I am more aware of what I have. It's been a little while since I went through these and looked at them. And I honestly, when I was going through them, I couldn't remember exactly what I had. It's always a good idea whenever you're touching your product, going through it and actually looking at it, you're going to remember the things you have. As I was going through this, I pulled out a few things I'm going to use in March because I was like, oh, that's going to be perfect for March because I already know some of my photos. So that was really good. Right here, I have an Avery index tab that I put on there and I needed to remove a photo. So you just saw that I took my snips and I just snipped the part of the sticker that goes over the entrance for the pocket. And then that allows me to slide my pocket out and I can still have that Avery index tab there. And then this is a fabric half circle. I love all the different textures. I have puffy stickers in here, fabric type stickers, and chipboard. Again, all of the things that I am using as embellishments are all Ali Edwards. That is the biggest part of my collection is Ali Edwards product. And I love getting her product because there's such a variety of textures. And that is the really fun part of having these items is the different textures. It's one of my favorite things. And currently, I know that just last week, I'm sure it's probably still going on, Ali Edwards, she was having a kit sale on her website. There were a ton of her kits that were $10 a piece. There were kits that when they came out, they were $40 and they were marked down to $10. When I got my kits this month, some of the add-ons were those $10 kits, and I think I picked up 7 or 8 past kits that were just a great deal. So you can check her website out, and if you want to pick up some of her past stories of the month or some of the kits that she's released recently, now would be an excellent time to do that. I don't get any commission from it. I'm not an affiliate with Ali Edwards. I'm just a lover of her product and the way she tells stories, and I always want to support her store. So again, just finding some chipboard pieces to go on these spots. You may notice the photo above with the daffodils and it says Sutter Creek, that one that has right there where it says bring on the details. That photo is, if you're in the membership, you will definitely recognize that photo because it is in Kayla's album for the month of February. I used that same photo in her album, and that was a photo I snapped. It was after school. I picked her up and I took her to Starbucks to get a drink. It was actually after after drama rehearsal, and it had been a really long day for her, and we went to Starbucks and I snapped that photo, and so I used it in both my Project Life family album, and then I also put it in her album. In her album, I added text right to the bottom part of the photo, which happens to be the road, and I just put Starbucks runs after long school days or something like that, and I put that in her album. We talked about that photo. When I snapped that photo, her and I actually had a discussion about the daffodils and how beautiful they were, and so I hope when she looks back at her album in years to come, she will remember, going to Starbucks, us going to Starbucks and hanging out and chatting in the car. So what I'm trying to do is grab some circles and make somewhat of a triangle. So I have one up top there, and then I have one on the bottom. I think I was talking to Andrew right there. I think I had called him in to talk to him. I think he was getting ready to leave on his bike. I wanted to know where he was going. But you can see I'm just digging through there. These right here, both of these are from the detailed story kit from Ali Edwards. That's why they both say something about detail, and they somewhat match. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ampersand stickers on the actual jade core kit that you will see. And then I'm just trying to vary the size. I didn't want that big one to go right over Sutter Creek. I want that detail of Sutter Creek to be in the photo. If it didn't say Sutter Creek right there, I probably would have put that chipboard piece right in the middle of the photo, but I'm going to put it off to the side. And then I do a small one over the coffee cup, and that was just me with my cozy blanket and a cup of coffee, and it was probably raining because it rained a lot in February, and I will put that there. And then these are just some extra stories. So I did have quite a few photos that I had taken in February that were just kind of random stories, and so I added a 9x12 page protector in here to finish those stories up. And then you'll notice, so I put this chipboard piece on, and then you're going to notice when I turn the page again that it creates a triangle. There's one on the top, a circle embellishment on the top, on the bottom, and then I'm going to put that other one right on this card, and it creates this triangle effect, which is really nice. On the 9x12 page protector, I have a screenshot of the buses. So when the kids are on the bus, we can track them. And I took a screenshot of that one day. And then I have a screenshot of a pizza order. We did a lot of eating out in February, a lot of ordering food and not having to cook, and because things were so stressful. So I took a screenshot of that. And then I'm going to add these, and I love the way this came out. So I'm going to add one on this card, and then I think, well, I'll add one on this other polka dot card that's like teal and polka dot. I'll add another one, and then it will be, like bookends, like there'll be one on each side. Well, what I'm going to end up do is stacking 3 of them on top of each other, and then that's going to look really awesome. I wanted to use another one up here, but I don't remember if I use another one or not on the wine glass. I'm desperately trying to use that one. I think I use it on the bus one eventually. So that is Project Life for February. Hopefully you end up seeing the ampersand. If not, you'll be able to see it in photos. I honestly might have forgot to film the last part of it. So make sure you check out the photos on my website of how February turned out, but February's all wrapped up. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. There's 2 other videos here on the screen that you can check out if you would like. And I will catch you on Friday with my next video. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.